man. I do what I do.
1950 on, the marriage rate began to decrease. You got drugs in the community, welfare, convince black women, hey, you don't need that black man, go on over there and be a strong, independent woman. So by the time these immigrants start really showing up in the 1980s, we're dealing with a crack epidemic and there's no daddy in the house. And so what do they see? They see a bunch of shiftless young people who didn't have a family structure. They don't know anything about Central Avenue. They don't know anything about Tulsa, Oklahoma. All they do is see is a bunch of shiftless black folks strung out on dope, dealing with police interactions. By 1985, the world has gone crazy as far as the black community. Rap music has taken over as a culture. Instead of having the black elite, the educated among us, the doctors and the PhDs, you got a bunch of lowlifes and degenerates holding themselves out as intellectuals. Not only are they pushing their intellectual jargon, but they're also pushing their cultural habits. The pimping is at an all-time high. So the pimp replaced the parental authority in the family. You don't have a father, you getting your ideals about manhood and masculinity from a pimp. So instead of being parents, we're being players. Instead of being housewives, we are being hoes or whores. This is what happened to the black community in the 1960s and the 1970s and the 1980s. So now you pop up in the 1990s, young black men are learning what they know about masculinity from gangster rap. The drug dealer is the ideal person to look up to in the community because he got the women, he got the money, he got the cars. There's no father. And by the time we get to the mid-90s, now you got the mass incarceration of black men, the destruction of the black community, the further destruction of the black community. Because remember, they tore it apart with these redlining laws and zoning laws. They tore it apart. They tore the family apart. They tore the black community apart. And now here we are, skipping ahead to 1990. Instead of the vibrant culture that we had that built things, that built these HBCUs, that built these colleges, that built these communities, you got that replaced with gangster rap. And so, and now it's a free-for-all. So we went from gangster rap to this over-sexualization of black people. And this is something that popped up in the early 2000s. I mean, there's famous worldwide known stripper songs where we just broadcast the perverted sexuality and sexual deviations of black people specifically. Now I'm in love with a stripper, right? This is what happened. And so what do you expect? You got a group of overly sexualized young people and they reproduce. What do you think you're going to get 25 years later? A bunch of young kids who don't know if they're boys or who are susceptible to this brainwashing as to what their sexuality should or shouldn't be. There's no family. There's no grandmothers. There's no grandfathers. There's no structure. Many of these young people grew up in drug-infested communities in the 1980s and 1990s. There is nothing. So when immigrants come to this country, they know absolutely nothing about black history. They just assume that we jumped off the plantation and we just ended up just like this. They have nothing. They have no knowledge about our black elite. They have no knowledge about our great creations and great inventions. And when you tell them about it, they couldn't even fathom it based on what they see right now. You're telling me that these people here with their saggy pants and their drugs and their tattoos, these people built these great craft. These people forged and forced this country to live up to its ideals. No, not these people. And so because our history is lost, because our history, not even lost, our history has been purposely buried, nobody knows the greatness of what black Americans are and what we've become, based on what we've become. This is where we are. This is what we're dealing with right now. Now, of course, there are people like me that none of y'all listen to. Right? I'm Boulay, right? Isn't that what I am? Even though I'm from the hood. Even though I'm from the ghetto, I'm Boulay. Anytime a black person achieves some sort of black success, we are trained to call them the other. If you're a black person who speaks articulate, you're well-spoken, guess what? You're trying to be white. Doesn't that sound like a plant Doesn't that sound like one of those things they did to us to purposely undermine our desire to educate ourselves? We come from a group of people who were barred from reading in certain parts of the country. It wasn't all over the country. Again, there were 1/3 of black people who were free even during the height of slavery all the way up until 1865. So they were definitely reading. They were educated people. They were businessmen and women. They were reading. It's just those in the South. Of course, they didn't want them to unlock the knowledge that would come from the book, so they would learn the history and how the world really works and open their mind to more. They might get notions of the ideas that they deserve freedom and then did more rebellion. It'd be worse than what it was already. Well, these people can't even read and they still fighting with us. They don't even know what's on the other side of this plantation and they still fighting for freedom because they know, the human spirit knows that freedom is something that they're entitled to and they will fight and die for it. Nevertheless, as we look now, we are a shadow of the people. The only famous people we see every now and then is a few rappers and actors and entertainers, sports and whatnot. My dear Latino brothers and sisters, you wonder why we won't get off the couch? You wonder why? We said, no, y'all got this. It's because we've been through enough. You haven't been through anything like we've been through. Did you not just hear me speak for the past 20, 30 minutes and explain to you how we have been purposely targeted? Not to send us back home, just to make sure we don't have it. This is what anti-black racism looks like. I don't got it, but I'm gonna just make sure you don't have it. Because that makes me feel better about myself, because my white supremacy racism says I'm supposed to be better than you. And if that is not the reality that I live in, then I'm going to make it so. And if I can't make it so, I'm gonna do everything I can to undermine your success and say in some way it's jaded or it's pathological in some sort of way. That's what white supremacy is, and that's the mind effing that goes on in the typical white American's mind. So that's a sickness, that's a psychosis that they need to deal with. But as far as Latinos, look, I got much love for the Latino community. I don't want to see you being separated. I'm a compassionate person. Most black people are compassionate. We're loving, beautiful, wonderful people. Black people are the most loving people on this planet. And it's amazing that we have such a level of humanity, considering all that we've been through, considering all that has been taken from us, that we've earned. Even after we overcame having our bodies snatched and brought to this country, our language stolen, our spiritual beliefs stolen, our women being raped and forced to have children with men either they didn't know or men who of other ethnicity. Just, we had breeding farms. Even after all of that, we are still a compassionate and loving people. We embrace the Koreans. We embrace the Vietnamese when they were put in our communities. We've embraced the Japanese. We embraced the Latinos. We embraced the Irish. We embrace everybody. The Italians. We embrace everyone. And now you want us, after all we've been through and all our compassion, to get out there and stand in the front lines while you fight. It's finally your turn to fight. And instead of fighting on your own, you want us to, after all we've been through, all we've had taken, stuff we've earned legitimately, our land, our accomplishment, you want us to get out here and fight on your behalf. You wasn't even here when we were fighting. And we fought for you and you won the right that you have now. You went from trying to be white to being down with the brown. Latinos wanted to be white back in the 1950s. When we were doing all that civil rights fighting, keep that in mind. LULAC, one of your organizations, you all wanted to be white. You didn't want to be black. It wasn't until after 1965, those of you all were here would say, oh, well, hold on. Maybe we don't want to be white anymore. Maybe we want to be brown. That's what it was. It was a convenience thing for you all. Anyway, to the top. We peeped that out and we let it slide. It wasn't until your anti-black racism began to manifest and we start seeing you for who you were, and that is opportunist. But at the end of the day, your desire to be white, your desire to be white adjacent, to have the privileges of white or whatever it is they would offer you. That's been your downfall, because you've done the worst thing you could. You have exposed yourself and your anti-blackness to black Americans who are especially attuned and keyed in on racism. That was a mistake. Because now the brothers are like, look, sisters are like, well, we were going to help you. We're not going to do it now. Why would we empower you all? Just so you can get in charge and treat us as bad or worse than the white folks treat us. At least we have an understanding with white people. And the typical white man and the typical black man, we pretty much, as Americans, we pretty much have more in common culturally and socially than all of the people who come here from these foreign countries. I'm going to say that again. I have more in common with the typical American man, white American male, than I do with brown folk and black folk that come to this country from other places, because culturally we're pretty much the same. We like Jesus, we like barbecue, and we like and we like our freedom. That's pretty much where we are. We want to be left alone. We pay our taxes, we do our job. This is pretty much something that all men can relate to. I'm not trying to impose on you what your religion should be, like those folks in these Arab countries. I'm not trying to be all social and whatnot. And even though I like them, I'm not like these Latin American country men. I don't need to be overly dominant in my family like many of these countries, these people from these patriarchal countries, these men. I have more in common with the typical white American man than I do with any of you other foreign men who come here. And that's just it. And so in that regard, black men and white men and black women and white women, and I'm talking about those who are foundational black Americans, those who can trace their lineage to the plantations and before that, those who have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, we have an understanding with each other. But when you start bringing immigrants in, black immigrants, brown immigrants, you all start messing with what we have going on over here. You messing with the understanding, the power dynamic, the balance, the delicate balance that we have. But the bottom line is, man, this is why black folks are sitting this one out. You don't deserve our help because of your anti-blackness. And on top of that, we're tired. And we've done enough. It's your turn to fight now. It's your turn to force America to live up to its ideals. And you're going to have to organize with your elite. You're going to have to do what we did. And the great thing about it for you is that you have countries to go back to. You have a culture separate and apart from your own. You have languages separate and apart from your own. You have consulates. You have other governments on yours. We had none of that. So keep that in mind. But we've been through enough. And it's time for us to have a seat. Shout out to all the black folks, man. I appreciate everybody for checking out my channel. I thank you all as I march towards 100,000 hard-earned subscribers. I appreciate everybody for coming through. This is Dennis Sperling, the Blizzard King, and as I always say at this time, I'm out. What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D. People wash their ass in the tub, Kamala Harris.
You would tune in to Uncle D. D's black man talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something, then you earn something. And let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. Blizzard King here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Sperling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, vote and earn. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you've been served, gotta know this now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you've been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Flowbee and cut your own damn hair from now on.